So hey there, everybody. It's RevKev here. It's something I've been kind of playing around with the idea, and I figured, I got an hour to kill before I got on out to my daughter's soccer game. So I figured I'd jump on to YouTube Live here and do some live painting with you. So we'll talk Star Wars while I'm painting and working on this stuff, and we'll talk board games and a whole bunch of whatever conversation comes up at the time. So, yeah, if you're new to the channel, it's great to have you here. I hope you enjoy the content here. It'd be great if you could click that subscribe button and that notification bell. Would really appreciate it. So, hopefully, this is working. I don't have a direct test here of the sound, but hey, if anyone joins in and there's no sound at all, well, hey, let me know. So, one of the things I find fascinating about Star Wars games right now, like when you think of all of the games that are coming out, everything, I mean, pretty much everything is being set in the original trilogy timeline. Is that just me, or am I wrong? Are there other things that maybe that's not 100% true? Like, I look at this Star Wars Legion game, for example. Like, this is the height of the rebellion against the Empire, right? So you got your rebels here. You got your, Imperial stormtroopers. Not First Order stormtroopers. Empire, Imperial stormtroopers. You've got, oh gee, I don't know, Luke Skywalker? Yeah, Luke Skywalker, the hero, right? Because everyone wants to play with Luke Skywalker. Everybody wants to play with Han Solo, at the height of the Galactic War. So, so it just seems like the game companies have figured it out. They know what to do to make some money. They know how to keep fan base happy and to keep things moving along and keep making some awesome games. So so I'm just kind of playing around painting this. This guy here is my prototype. He's my. I'm just trying to figure out what color scheme I want to use for these rebel soldiers. So I'm kind of just based on the look of them, going with an Endor, Battle of Endor, Return of the Jedi kind of vibe with them. And because, hey, let's face it, the Battle of Endor was pretty awesome. It was, 1983. I was 12 years old when Return of the Jedi came out. Went to go see it with all of my buddies. We hopped onto our bikes, took our paper route money, and the lineup in the town where I grew up was so big. There were so many people in line that the police actually ordered them to start an earlier showing to get all the people off the streets and into the theater, which is, that's when, Star Wars is a, it's it's an event, right? It's something that's really impacting people when that is happening. Unfortunately, we don't treat movies like events anymore, which is kind of sad. So, so what I've done on this guy already, you can see. So I've got the first layer completely done. I've got, some shading done, and now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of playing around with some highlights for a bit. Picking out some of the things that definitely should be highlighted a little bit better. Things like his weapon, things like some of his gear that he's wearing. Highlight some of the clothing as well. Now, if you have any questions about what colors I'm using, like there's so many great painting guides that are available. I can tell you what I'm using, but sadly, I've been collecting paint from all these different companies for years, and Citadel over the years have kind of rebranded and changed all the names of their colors. So the paint I might be using could be literally 10 years old. So it would be very difficult. Well, you would never be able to find this exact color. Now, they would have an equivalent, I'm sure. But for example, bolt gun metal, I don't know if it's called that anymore. It might actually have a new name now. So just kind of want to pick out some of the details, like the belt buckles. Give that a nice shine. Because even though it's military, it's still science fiction. So you got to get this to got to get it to pop. Sorry, not science fiction, space fantasy. Let's call it by the proper terminology here, right? Yeah. Wasn't happy with how the gun turned out. It was a little too white, so I'm just gonna give it another base coat. Well, not fully, but let's get a lot more bolt gun color into here, and then I gotta rewash it because it just came out a little too white. For a blast or assault rifle. Kind of pick it out like that. Hey there, Flip. Good to have you here. I don't know if you saw Flip on Twitter this morning. I was really inspired by your live chat last night, and so I did go to McDonald's this morning to get my McMuffin because I thought about McMuffins all night long, so I had to satisfy that craving. But yeah, awesome. Thanks for jumping in here today. I really appreciate it. And love your channel, by the way. Just love the stuff that you're making, and keep up the great work. And the whole film collective thing is just awesome. I think you guys are doing an amazing job. So keep up the great work. Again, just so fascinating, as I look at these Star Wars games. Again, I was talking about this a bit earlier. I can't think of a single. Hey, how's it going there, D? Great to have you here. I can't think of a single board game, video game, role playing game, anything set in the new trilogy timeline. Like, absolutely nothing. Like, that's not 100% true. They came out with the Force Awakens beginner box role playing game, which was basically just one module of a total rip-off of the story of the Force Awakens. And Fantasy Flight has Star Wars Destiny, their dice collectible card game, which strongly features characters from The Force Awakens. But that's it. There's like nothing else. There's Fantasy Flight Games making amazing Star Wars games. Things like Star Wars Legion. X-Wing. Okay, X-Wing has some ships. You can get Kylo Ren, you can get Rey, Millennium Falcon. They make basic ships from all the movies, the timelines, but it's not anything more than that. And yeah, so these companies, they figured it out. They know where the money is. If they want, to get a guy like me to slap down $25 for like, 6 little plastic miniatures, man, it better be something from the original trilogy, or I ain't buying it. It's not happening. So these game companies, they're getting the right licenses. They've got it smart. They know what they're doing. It's just kind of sad that Lucasfilm isn't following suit. So it's yeah, it's cool to see you guys there chatting. It's kind of funny. I didn't because I've never done a live thing before, so I didn't know if I'd actually be able to see live here on my phone. So that's why I installed my laptop over here so I can keep track of anyone that's signing in. So just wanted to jump in here. I've been out of town all week on a leadership training course that I'm taking, and my daughter has her last soccer game of the winter season this afternoon, so we're gonna be heading out to that. So I figured I've been itching to get back to painting these guys up, so to see what I can do with them. So I actually finally played my first game of Star Wars Legion a couple weeks ago with a buddy of mine, and I lost. And so he's collecting the Empire. I thought I was going to collect the Empire because I always collect the Empire. But I figured, well, I'm always painting Stormtroopers. And after a while of painting Stormtroopers, they'll start looking the same. So yeah, I figured I'd jump into start painting Rebels. Get a little bit more color in here. So that's what's going on. Yeah, it's funny with all these paints, man. I've got some of these paints, I'm not even kidding, are like 20, 25 years old. It's crazy. Like, especially like, when you get into these old tins, like not the tins, but these plastic Citadel jars. It's like with the snap up lids. And I even still have some of the screw on lids the ones that never turned wrong. They turned into rock. But I've been playing these miniature games since college. We're talking, man, when I was in college, it was a long time ago. It was like 25, 30 years ago. Okay, let's tell the real number. So, yeah, this is my Stormtrooper there mug. Have a nice cup of herbal tea here. So, got to relax on a Saturday afternoon, enjoy a cup of tea, hang out with friends online, and paint some Star Wars minis. Life doesn't get any better than that. Yeah, you're right. I actually seen a lot of people. Whoa! My light just fell. Again, my little homemade setup here. Dude, there we go. Yeah, I saw some people did some amazing stuff with their Stormtrooper and color palettes and putting all different kind of stripes and color schemes. What's funny for me is even though I love painting, I actually don't have much eye for art. I'm not good at colors, so I kind of need to see someone else's colors so that I can, I hate to say copy it, but copy it. It's funny with miniature painting like this too, I find I've had to learn over the years to find my this is good enough kind of level because I'm a little bit OCD. I can be a little obsessive and I want these to look perfect. I want them to be fully, looking like the professionals. But when you've got like hundreds of these little things to paint, well, it isn't time. It isn't time to get them to that level. So I kind of have settled on more of a tabletop quality. Aren't the little few techniques, and this is one technique that I've done. I haven't seen too many people do this, but literally what I do is I put on some paint. I don't know if you can see this here, but I'll put paint on a part like that, and I'll literally just wipe it with my thumb. Just I see other people and they've got these techniques for blending and watering and layer upon layer upon layer, and I've never had the patience to do that or actually figure that out. So I go into here, put some paint on, wipe it off with my thumb, gives it a nice blended kind of look, Put a couple dabs here on his backside and just dab it down with my thumb. Gives me some nice different shading in here. Still has a nice dirty look. He's got here, the 6 in series paint jobs are horrendous, looking to liven up a few, yeah, for sure. It's one of the things that I actually started off in the game here painting stormtroopers, so I've got 2 units painted. Zoom in on there. There you go, camera. Which were fun. I actually really enjoyed these, but if I'm only going to be playing against someone right now who's collecting stormtroopers, then then I figured I better get painting rebels so we can both have our armies painted on the table. So I stopped. I was actually just starting to paint some unit of snowtroopers when he told me he was collecting the the Empire. So I just need more friends that are actually playing the game or finding a time when I can get down to my local hobby store at the same time when everyone is playing. But I find my schedule doesn't always fit with their schedule. Like I'm never free. Weekends are hard for me with teenage kids, and I have a job where I work on the weekends. So, and would rather just be home with my family. So, find different times to play during the week. Yeah, I heard the rumors for this game now is that they're gonna, again, still not touching the new sequel trilogy, but gonna be going all the way back to the prequels, and clones and separatist armies are gonna start coming out, which I think would be epic. I would actually really like to collect a separatist army, like get Count Dooku in there, General Grievous, and just a whole bunch of different droids. Get some battle droids and droidecas, and the destroyers and all those wicked miniatures would look so good. And they'd probably be quite simple to paint as well. Well, simple. Simpler. Exactly. Droidecas. You gotta get droidecas. You know. And man, to have a whole bunch of clone army would be really wicked as well in this game. Would be a lot of fun. Maybe that's something that the new trilogy is lacking. Like it's so focused around 2 characters, predominantly, Rey and Kylo Ren, that they call it Star Wars, but it just doesn't seem to have that Wars feel to it. You know what I mean? Like First Order came out of nowhere. They were literally non-existent, and then they show up in one movie, destroy the Republic, and then the second movie, it says they now reign supreme. But apart from one little squad of, stormtroopers, we've never seen them do anything. Like, there's no war. There's no war at all. So, yeah, maybe that's just something that's kind of lacking. It's a story about 2 people. It's just not this big, huge, grand war. Like, that's one of the things I always loved. When people say, "Oh, we want all these spin-off movies about the war." Well, the war is the backdrop. It is a story about Luke Skywalker. It is a story about Anakin Skywalker. But the war is a very fascinating and interesting backdrop for those characters. So, and I think that's something that the new series is just lacking. The backdrop isn't interesting. I mean, it's bad enough the characters aren't interesting, but the backdrop isn't interesting either. So, definitely something that they should be playing more and looking at, hopefully in the future. Yeah, I've gotten back into D&D. Yeah, man, I haven't played that. Oh boy, that's been a long time. Actually, just recently, I've been cleaning out all these old boxes that I've had in storage for 20 years, and just got rid of a whole bunch of old Dragonlance D&D books that I just been sitting in a box for 25 years, and put those up on Facebook, and it was pretty cool how those disappeared because it's cool to see that they're still really popular with people. It's funny. One of the things that I've done in the past year, 2 years actually, is I wear glasses now. 48 years old, never worn glasses in my entire life. Perfect vision my whole life. I could paint a miniature like this in like 5 minutes. Now, holy smokes, I take the glasses off. I can't see anything, so I gotta put the glasses on, look and squint, and I even then bought a magnifying glass that I use to kind of check everything out. You know, it's wisdom. It's this increased wisdom now as I'm getting older. I got to learn how to paint these miniatures with my new wise eyes. So I actually debated finding a different hobby because the first few days of trying to figure out how to paint with glasses and this magnifying glass was driving me crazy. So I think I got it. I think I've accepted my old age. It was funny. I have a friend of mine who's an optometrist, and he kept saying, and I actually go see him, and he was saying, "Dude, like one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna need glasses. It's just gonna happen. You're just gonna wake up and your eyes are gonna stop working." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't know what you're talking about." Yeah, me telling a doctor what he doesn't know what he's talking about, and I'm not even kidding. I think it was my 45th birthday. Woke up and now I can't see. It's like, what the heck? One of those joys of getting a little older too, where you wake up in the morning and you're sore. It's like, how did that happen? Didn't exercise, didn't do anything. I'm sore from sleeping. So, yeah. So I might joke about that with my dad all the time. And he's like, hey, just wait till you turn 50 and all the new your doctor will do to you. It's like, great. Thankfully, here in Canada, it's free healthcare. So we take advantage of all that stuff. Blah. Before I sat down here to paint, I was actually outside. We got 40 centimeters of snow this week here at home. That in inches would be what, 2.5 centimeters per inch. So 40, that's like 18, almost 20 inch, yeah, 18 inches of snow. Crazy. Normally dealing with the snow is my job. I love just getting outside and using my snowblower. But since I was away, recruited my son, who's going to be 18 this summer, sent him a Dropbox video on how to use the snowblower because I never teach anyone how to use it because it's my toy. So, but man, couldn't believe the snow. That's where you sit there and quite envious of my sister who lives in Tennessee. She lives just outside of Memphis. No, Nashville. It's just outside of Nashville. It's like, oh yeah, I could get used to that. Yeah, see, you guys get what I'm talking about. You know, D flip, like, what's the deal? You turn mid 40, stuff doesn't work anymore. It's like, it worked great yesterday, but like I said, wisdom. We'll just add ourselves into the wisdom category. Are we back? Hey, we're back. Okay, no, it was funny. My phone was saying it was still streaming. Everything looked good. Countdown was still going. Still said live. But over here on my laptop, it was like, nope, it was dead. So hopefully we're back. Is it working? If you guys can let me know that it's working again, that'd be a big help. Appreciate it. Can't remember whose channel I was listening to this morning. Someone had a great man who someone in the fandom collective. I wish I could remember who it was. That had a great video this morning on the whole Captain Marvel thing and how it's a movie not for them because they're a white male, so they're not allowed to go see it. I thought that was pretty funny. And it's funny, I actually don't know anything about the character. For me, Captain Marvel is always going to be the lady there from the 80s and 90s Avengers, kind of the black lady in the white suit with the big afro. That's kind of Captain Marvel to me. And then the dude, I can't remember what that dude's name was. Totally remember that guy is Captain Marvel. So I was looking forward to it. I thought it was looking good. I love the Skrulls in the Fantastic Four. I thought that was going to be really cool, but Man, I just can't handle. Again, I'm getting older. Just can't handle all the political nonsense in entertainment in Hollywood, and it's just exhausting. So I'm gonna save my money and go see the real Captain Marvel. Go see Shazam. That looks funny. I think DCEU started off a little rocky, but they're really kind of getting their act together and hitting the source material. And yeah, I think Shazam looks great. I can't wait to go see that. So that's my money's gonna go to the Captain Marvel Shazam. Even they've just re-released a comic book of Shazam. I've actually started buying that again. Which art is gorgeous. Can't remember the name of the artist, but man, it's good. Hopefully my phone is. Hopefully the picture quality is good. Yeah, you're right. Wonder Woman, man, that was an awesome movie, and what a great actress. Like Gal Gadot is just such a great person. Like her charity work is just incredible, and she talk about like someone who's just non-politically empowering people. She doesn't need a platform. She doesn't need to show off. She's just getting it done. Like man, hats off to her. I think she's just awesome. And yeah. So this guy, I think, kind of happy with the look of him. One of the things I've never been able to figure out how to do well with these guys is the face. Man, I just usually let a whole bunch of ink fall in there and just kind of go that way. But I see other people and they do such a good job in these faces and they pick out all the eyes and all the detail. And I'm like, how the heck did you do that? You know, you know, I usually just do like a dark wash initially to kind of get all the shadows, and then I kind of do like a flesh wash, to kind of bring it out. So Fast and the Furious. I'd forgotten that she's actually from that. You know what? Okay, here's a confession. I have not seen a single one of the Fast and the Furious movies. Not one. I know. It's weird, right? But, and there's been like what, 15 of them? No, I have no clue. Like six, seven? How many have there been? I don't know why. I haven't seen them. I love The Rock. I like cars. I'm a big car guy, but hey, cars are cool. But yeah, I have not seen a single one of the Fast and the Furious movies. And and there's like they're going off into spin-offs, I think. When the new trailer kind of came out, it actually looked like a superhero movie, or like Mission Impossible or James Bond kind of feel to it, which definitely interesting. Man, that looks okay. That I'm happy with. That's looking good. You can't tell when I zoom in. Zoom, zoom. If I click my phone here, will it zoom in on them? No, doesn't want to. Just curious, for you guys who do live streaming, what camera do you use? Do you guys just use your cell phones, or are you using a different camera, a different mic system? Would love to know what you use because, again, I'm doing this on the cheap right now. It's you can tell when I'm doing it at work because then I use all the work equipment and with our lighting and our stage and our good microphone setup and all that gear. Um, and then when it's kind of blurry and choppy and looks like more real because it's all bouncing around, that's when I'm doing it at home. Now, the one thing I want to figure out too is how to. One thing I have never really gotten perfected is blending white well. I try watering it down, but I still find the white just keeps coming out too thick. Drives me bonkers. Oh, there's what I'm looking for here. Gonna kind of give just a wash to the gun again. So yeah, that looks a lot better. It was way too white before. It didn't look like a space gun. It's got to look like a blaster rifle. That looks a lot better. So what's the last movie you guys have seen? I or what are you watching on Netflix right now? I Again, another confession is I've never seen The Flash TV series, and everyone keeps telling me how great it is. And I really like. I'm actually a DC guy. I'm actually way when it comes to comic books, I'm way more into DC than Marvel. So I've never watched The Flash. So in the last month, I have watched all 5 seasons, and it's man, got a little wonky here in the last season, but it's such a good show. Hockey game. Who's playing? What game are you watching? Not a Montreal Canadian fan, are you? Oh. Do they still have fans, Montreal Canadiens? Carbon Altered. I heard that show's good. I haven't seen that. I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. We're kind of trying to do other stuff, kind of like paint miniatures and read more, but still find some stuff to binge from time to time. 3-1 for the Flyers. All right. My brother-in-law, I believe, is a huge Flyers fan. It's funny. All my brother-in-laws, I've got probably two of them, well, four technically, all hockey guys, and I get free tickets all the time. Get to go to these, the Ottawa Senators games. Don't know a thing of what's going on, but I love going to the game. Just hanging out with people. It's a good time. Yeah. Gotta now take a peek here in my magnifying glass, see how this is turning out. This guy's looking great. This is probably more time than I normally spend on one figure. But I'm trying to learn to get a little better at this, not be as rushed. Enjoy the process as I've been learning in leadership training that I've been going to. It's not about the destination. Enjoy the journey. We're a little too rushed as a culture, a little too rushed as leaders to get to the bottom line and not enjoying what we're learning and what we're doing on the way there. So cool. What time is it now? It's 2:49. I'm gonna have to sign off in the next couple of minutes and get my daughter to her soccer game. It's funny, my wife and my daughter are total sports people. Huge, huge sports people. My son and I, not. Much more into computer stuff and into, games and movies and computers and stuff like that. Geek out stuff. So I guess that's what makes our family so fun. It's the diversity of everybody in it. So. All right. Well, so I think that's about it. So I think this guy, I'm just gonna base him up and take some pictures. I'll post them up on Twitter, what he kind of looks like. But hey, thanks so much for joining me. This is kind of my first experience trying out YouTube Live. I think this might be a fun way for me to consistently get some painting done. Hopefully I can, we can talk movies, we can talk geek stuff, geek culture. And then maybe if I start tagging this properly and figuring that out, I can even get some other people and You know those painting parties that the girls like go to, where you go and you all paint together? Maybe this is something that we could do here on this channel as well. Just get together from time to time and paint. So there's my Funko Pop Death Star wall. Ah. Anyways, have a good one, and thanks for joining me today. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great afternoon. Bye.